It's Mr. Mulholland again. We're going to be doing some more Solidworks. So far we have talked a lot about additive manufacturing in Solidworks. This is where we add material. Today we're going to start talking more about subtractive manufacturing, where we're taking away material. A lot of these tools operate in a similar way to the additive features, but just instead of adding, they subtract. So what we're going to talk about today is the Revolve Cut tool. You'll see it operates very similarly to the Revolve Boss Base tool. So let's get started. So like usual, first thing we're going to do is we're going to open a new part. And what we're going to do next is we are going to look to make sure we're in the right units. And we're correct there. And let's have a look up here. Document properties, units, MMGS. Yes, we're correct there. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a negative mold for a vase for putting flowers in. So before we get talking about this revolve cutting, we need to give some material for us to cut into. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by sketching, just like usual, our center line, L shape, and we're going to do it on the top plane. We're going to go straight up, and we're going to go straight out to the side. So to make our mold, first thing we're going to start with is we're going to start with a rectangle, and we're going to draw a rectangle. In fact, I'm going to use a center rectangle, and you'll see why in a wee while. I go from the center or origin just straight out to the side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to smart dimension, and I'm going to make this rectangle 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. And what have we got here? We've got a closed contour, which means we can extrude it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to extrude it, and we're going to make it 300 millimeters tall. We're going to give it a depth of 300 millimeters. Great. We have the start of our mold. So what are we going to do now? Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at our front view, and we're going to open a new sketch. And this can be a little bit tricky. You might need to look at it from a slight angle, and we're going to choose the plane that runs straight through the center of our cuboid. So you can see here I can use the front plane, can't use the top plane, but I can use the right plane. And I'm just going to use the front plane. But what you might have to do, depending on where you drew your sketch at the start, you might need to make a new plane between the two faces of your square. I'm just going to show you that really quickly, in case you have to do that. See, let's extrude, we'll delete, and let's go and we'll delete. So we're going to open our new sketch on the top plane again. Just like usual, we're going to do our center line, straight up, and straight out to the side. And instead of drawing our rectangle, our center rectangle there, we're going to use a corner rectangle, and we're just going to go out the side. So you can see now this won't be sitting, the front plane won't be directly in between the two faces. So let's smart dimension this again to be 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. And we are going to extrude it by 300 millimeters. So this time what we're going to do is we are going to make a new plane. And our first reference is going to be the front face. Our second reference is going to be the back face. And you can see the little blue outline is directly halfway between the two faces. So we're going to look here, we have a mid plane, for our first reference point and a midplane for our second one, and that basically means it is going to choose the point directly between those two faces to put this plane on. So we're going to hit the green tick, and there we go, we have plane 1. And I'm going to show you a little trick. We can rename the tree item, and we're going to call this our cut. We're going to call it our cutting face, our cutting plane, better name for it. If we have this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so it's not getting too much in our way. So what we want to do now is we want to open a new sketch on our cutting plane, and we're going to use the convert entities button, and we're going to convert this face here onto this new plane. So we just click it, click the green tick, and there we go. We can now see the outline of our square, of our rectangle, on this new plane. So what's very important when we're doing this is we need to have our axis point chosen, and this is going to be the point that your cut revolves around 360 degrees. So what we're going to do for this example is we're going to look for the midpoint on this line here, and you'll see the little orange dot just there, and we'll go straight down looking for the little yellow box beside it. So this is our axis point. This is what we're going to rotate around to make our cut. So now that we have that, what we can actually do is we can trim all these entities, because we don't need this box anymore. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace a vase on this face using the spline tool or the free draw tool. First thing we need though is we need a flat surface for our vase to sit on, and we don't want to go right up to this edge here, because we go right up to this edge, that means our mold will have a hole in the bottom of it. So we're just going to go up a little bit from that, and we're going to give ourselves a flat base to start on. Next we're going to use the free draw tool, and we are going to just draw a nice little outline of our vase. And I'm just going to extend this up beyond this top point, because this will cut out top of our vase to put our plaster in if we were using this in real life. So when we have our outline, what we need to do is we need to make this a closed entity. To do that, we just need to join up all our corners to make a loop. And we know it's a closed entity because we can see that grey up around here. Now you'll see here, because I have went beyond this line, this is also going to cut out this section here. And if I don't want that to happen, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this line and drag it. Maybe I want it like that. Maybe I want it like that. Let's have a little look. It's still going beyond it a little bit. There we go. And we can just drag these lines to suit what we want it to look like. So now that we have our rough outline, what we're going to do is we are going to use our features, and we are going to use our revolved cut. See this little symbol here? And our axis of revolution, we are going to make sure it is this line here. The line that runs directly down. You can use the center line if you would rather. It doesn't make much of a difference. And what we need to choose now is our selected contours. And we want it to be this box that we have traced, this closed contour. And when we click that, and we make sure it is 360 degrees, and we see the outline and we're happy with where our outline is, we take the green tick, and you're sitting there looking at that going, I don't see anything different. but we see what it looks like on the inside now. We can see our shape right through. That would be the mold for our vase. What I want you to do now is, if you look on this slide, there are some images of vases, and I want you to design a mold using this technique that could be used to make that vase.